All right, everybody, who's ready to have a panic attack? Because I am. Hi, everyone, it's me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alanna, and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living here in the UK for the last 7 years, and today we are renewing my UK visa. And I think I might vomit. Oh, I'm so clammy. So how's everybody doing? Good, I hope. I am sick. Again. So I am in the middle of fighting my latest cold again. I did not sleep well last night because I am nervous about today, but surely we can do it, right? Now, I don't know what this video is going to look like, so we're here together. We're gonna do this together and everything's gonna be fine. So without further ado, let's go. Now, first up, whenever I talk about visas, I get some questions or comments, like I get the same comment over and over again. One of them is, you should just marry a British person, then you don't have to deal with this. And unfortunately, that is not true. So when you marry a British person, you have to apply for a spouse visa, you have to prove your case with legal documents, and then you have to pay for and be approved for that visa. So this idea of like, oh, just marry a British person, I don't know if that's like a thing online or someone said it on TV or something. It's just not how it happens. Another thing, people say you should get citizenship, which is very sweet. I am not eligible for citizenship at this time. Would I get it in the future? Potentially. It's very expensive. And there's like quite a scary process involved in that. But I think it would be something that I would consider, but I can't do it right now. Before that step, you get something called indefinite leave to remain, which is such like word soup. It's just a really weird way of saying you're allowed to stay in the UK. Indefinite leave to remain. So you are indefinitely allowed to remain in the UK. So that would come before citizenship, and unfortunately, I am not eligible. It's a long story. I'm just not eligible. So we have to renew my visa. It's just what happens when you move abroad. It's not easy and it's not cheap. And that sucks. But you can't avoid it. So cheers to red tape and home office fees. Okay, so what's the plan for today? That's a good question. Now, while I am submitting my visa today, I've actually been working on it in the background for the last couple of months. It's not something that I take lightly, and if it is rejected, I have to leave the UK, which is a pretty big issue. So I put a lot of time and effort and money into giving this application all the attention it needs. So I actually have been working on it for the last couple of months. The UK does allow sort of a cool option where you can start your application. So it's done online through their website. You can go along and you plug in, and there are tons of questions. Tons of questions. You go along and you can plug in answers and you can save your progress, and then you can come back to it later. So what I did, and any expats if you're watching, is I started my application a couple of months ago. I plugged in my details and I would save, and then I would come back to it later. The kind of annoying sort of tricky thing is you can't go to like the next page if there's an answer that is blank. So I filled in as much as I could. If I got to a question where it's like, I'm not totally sure what I want to put there yet, I would just put like all capital A's, like 4 A's. So there's something in that box, and then I could save and go to the next page. So what we're doing today is I am going to go through my saved application line by line and check everything. So checking like passport numbers, checking dates, checking figures. You also have to prove that you earn enough money as part of the application. So I have to go through all of my pay slips and all of my, I need an employment contract. Anyway, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Today, I'm going to go line by line through my application. That's step 1. Step 2 has to do with all of the evidence. So when you apply for a visa or you apply for a renewal, the application, from my memory, is the same. So you fill out the same application, and you also need to provide, at least in my case, the same documents. So I have to do the application, but I also need to send the appropriate documents. And to be honest, I think the documents is the hardest part, but we will get to that shortly. And then, of course, we are paying for said visa, which is my favorite part. Can you imagine if my renewal gets rejected? I hadn't really thought about that, but now that I'm sitting here and I'm like filming this, and I'm just like, what if I actually get rejected? I've just gotten goosebumps and I've got like a cold sweat. I'm so anxious, but we gotta do what we gotta do. So let's do it, I guess. All right, everybody. So I don't know what I've already said and what I haven't said because I feel so frazzled. Okay, so what do we even do? I don't know. Oh, you know what? This. So I've been in the UK for 7 years now, which means a lot of different visas, a lot of different renewals. Way back when, back in my day, you used to have to provide original documents as part of the application. So it could not be photocopies, it could not be print-offs, it all had to be original documents, which was really difficult. So what I got in the habit of doing is I would have a file like this. Now this isn't all visa documents, but a lot of it is. I would have one of these document folders, whatever you call them, and every time I would have mail come to the house, I would save it. So over the 2.5 years on a particular visa, I would save all of the original hard copy documents that I would receive. So by the time it came for applying for the visa, I would have the stuff that I need. Ideally, one of the things that you have to provide are bank documents. So like your bank statement, which is always kind of embarrassing because someone's like going through your bank account, like looking at all the stuff that you've bought, which I've bought a lot of weird stuff over the years. But way back when, I didn't receive like hard copy mailed statements because it was all paperless. Like things were really starting to turn over to paperless at this point, but I still needed an original document to submit for my visa. So I used to have to take like 2 buses to get to a bank. I'd have to go in and have an appointment. They would have to print off my bank statements themselves. And then they had to initial every page and officially stamp the set to show that it actually came from the bank and it was not just printed off at home. Thankfully, things have changed. So from my understanding, I mean, we haven't gotten to that stage yet. From my understanding, all of the documents we are going to submit are electronic documents. So I've still been saving them because it's a really hard habit to break, but I have scanned all of them into my computer. So I have the relevant documentation needed. It's just the little things about being an expat. Now, oh man. I think I'm gonna sleep well tonight. So my visa expires in about a month. So online, they say typically you should apply for a renewal about a month before. You don't want to do it too early, obviously, but you don't want to leave it too late. So we're at about the month mark right now. I don't know when I'll receive a result. It kind of depends really on the home office. They say typically within, 4 to 6 weeks or something. Thankfully, I am allowed to stay until my visa either gets approved or rejected. So we don't have to worry about leaving per se, but I hate these. It doesn't get any easier. I'll just say that. I've done so many visas and visa renewals over my time. And if you've been with me here on the channel, you've probably seen a couple. It does not get easier. I am just as terrified as the last one, which I was just as terrified as the one before that. So with that, I am going to get to work. I'm going to go through line by line my application, make sure everything is okay, and then I will see you guys, okay? Fingers crossed, everybody. Oh my God. Hey everybody, so It has been many hours and I have been on the verge of crying about 3 times, but I do have some updates. So, okay, well, first up, I think I have royally screwed myself, but we will get to that in a minute. So I went through my application line by line, checking every answer again. I did a couple of changes. I screwed up one of the dates on one of the things. So line by line, get to the end of it, and I submitted it. So that's really scary because you get all of these notices like, warning, you cannot change your answers after you click this button. So that's always scary, but I submitted it. It's out of my hands now. Next up comes payment. So have a think how much you guys think this might cost, and there are a couple of fees to consider. So first up, we have a biometrics appointment. So I have to go into London to get my photograph taken for my permit and my fingerprints, and they usually do like a digital signature. So that appointment cost £139. Annoyingly, I have to take the high-speed train into Stratford International. That's where one of the locations where it is. And I know the high speed is really expensive, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So my appointment, the earliest appointment I could get is not for like another week and a half, which is stressful because I don't know if they start processing your application before that appointment or they only do it after that appointment. I don't know. But I think I've screwed myself. We're not there yet. Next up, we have the cost of the application itself. So this visa renewal is going to be for another 2.5 years. Okay, 2.5 years and renewing it. How much do we think? Did you guess £1,048? Because you'd be correct. Now, apparently, I can get a decision within 8 weeks of submitting the online application. Oh, you know what? That makes me think that it doesn't start from the biometrics, which makes me feel a lot better. Honestly, I'm shaking. I have a wicked headache because I forgot to eat anything today because I'm so stressed out about this whole thing, and I've almost cried a couple of times. So yes, the visa application itself was £1,048. Most people get a decision within 8 weeks of submitting their online application. Now, we're not done because I've saved the biggest cost for last. Yes, there is another cost when it comes to this application. Do you know what it is? It is the NHS surcharge. So as part of every visa application and every visa renewal, you have to pay the NHS. So like, I get it. The NHS is a wonderful service. I do pay tax and I pay national insurance and all that stuff. But on top of that, every time I renew a visa, I am paying a lump sum into the NHS. Can you guess how much it was for me today? How about £1,560? So I actually got a text from my bank being like, have you been hacked? Because you've just spent a lot of money today. And unfortunately, I had to say no. That was me. So today I have spent almost £3,000 on my visa renewal, and I feel so many things right now. So after I submitted the application and then I paid for it, we're not done because you have to submit all your documents. Now, thankfully, you can do this through an online portal. I think I mentioned earlier, you used to have to send hard copy bits. Oh my God, we'll have to deal with my hair later. Just ignore my hair, okay? Thankfully, I can upload everything into the portal. So I have pretty much all of the documents ready, and that's what I've been doing the last couple of hours is like organizing everything and uploading it to the relevant section, making sure it's the right file size, the file name, making sure all of the documents are appropriate, because like every visa service or every visa type uses this online portal. It's very generic. So it doesn't really give you advice or direction for you specifically. You kind of have to find that elsewhere to make sure that you are uploading all of the necessary documents. If you don't apply if you don't upload the appropriate documents, obviously your visa can be rejected or it can be delayed and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm working on right now. I thought I'd take a break. I needed to get something to eat because I've been absolutely starving, wicked headache. So I'm going to take a minute and then I'm going to get back to it because I may have screwed myself. So you might ask, Alanna, how did you do that? Well, it is the 8th of May. Hi, you guys are going to see this next week. It's the 8th of May. My visa expires the 10th of June. So I wanted to do it in the right amount of time to give them enough time. I realized that I booked my trip home to Canada, which was we were thinking like late July. But then looking at the prices, we were like, wow, it's really expensive. Maybe we should fly out at the end of June, which I have booked that, and it is non-refundable, which the problem now is I cannot leave until I receive all of my approval, my passport, and my biometrics permit back from the home office. And if I don't have that in time, I cannot make that flight to Canada. So I could really use all of your well wishes, your prayers, your thoughts, your fingers crossed. Maybe I'll get my application really quickly. Maybe it'll be at the absolute last second, or maybe there will be a problem with it, or there are delays with the visa office and I won't get it in time, in which case I don't know what I will do. I mean, I won't go to Canada, I know that much. I'll basically forfeit a very expensive flight home. So yeah, still feel like I could cry, but this is the joy of being an expat, right? It's all fun and games, exploring and going to pubs and taste testing all sorts of British food. But you also have to deal with this side of things. So I am just emotionally exhausted. So I'm going to finish my application. I'm going to make sure everything is done today. So there is no excuses of like, oh, my application was delayed because I didn't upload things in time. No. We're going to get everything done today. I have my biometrics appointment in about 2 weeks to get the photo and the thumbprint. And then it's just a waiting game to hear back about my application. So as soon as I hear something, you guys will be the first to know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go cry. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to watch more content, that'd be really cool. Maybe check out whatever this video is. I'm sure it's a good one. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye! I think I am losing my mind.